Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
So if you don't know what is that, I would recommend you to pay a bit of attention, because this is the most crucial thing, most crucial indicator in the price of Bitcoin these days. Basically, it is the 200 days moving average on the Bitstamp, which is like the longest history. That's why we can look at this moving average performance. And at the moment, we can see that we basically felt lower than this moving average. I think it's something like 3,170 or something like that, maybe a little bit higher even. And now we are below that. It's $3,142. So, as we expected, as we were talking about this several times so far, we are about to go lower, and we went lower. Although we are continuing to trading in the same wedge over here, it is still very bearish in terms of the short-term price action. In fact, so the thing that we broke below this 200 days moving average, and also we broke below 3,200, which was also a very strong level, and we finally broke this was actually the level which was previously the bottom. So we are now approaching to the new low, and although we did all those things, I don't really see much of the volume. You see this candle over here, it's basically lower than those two candles. I mean the volume, not the candle, the bar, right? And over there, although you have some volume on the bottom, and even on these two candles which are approaching to 3,100, it is still a laughable value. You see, it's very comparable to even those bars over here. So what it does tell me again is that it is really weak right now. Bulls are basically sleeping or dead, or whatever you call. The scenario of the price would be continuing to be staying in the region of like 3,200 400s region. It would be real if we will not fall that lower those levels. Like if the whales will try to load their bags on this level for a while and then finally shoot up, it would be reasonable. But we did go down. It means that we actually fulfilling that expectation. We're approaching those low levels, $3,000 or something like that. Another thing is that on Bitfinex, now so far we were looking at the Coinbase, but on Bitfinex the situation is a bit different. And although everybody were expecting to see something like $3,000, nobody actually explicitly mentioned on which exchange $3,000 that would be, because we still have this spread, ridiculous $90 or $100 spread between major exchanges, and maybe $3,000, or actually this moving average of 3,170 or something. It's still a bit further than the same level price on the Coinbase or other non-tether trading exchanges. So here on Bitfinex, it is not that crazy, not that crucial, and we still have a hope. At least holders and buyers still have a hope that the price will go up from that point. However, I don't really think that, and you see that they actually expecting some increase in price. Although the shorts didn't change much, that means that probably people expect to bounce from somewhere around there. They don't risk to go short, but this must be happening, and the reason of this price to go down is actually to make more shorts, to cut them eventually. And since they don't have it now, although the price went down, I think the price should go down even lower. don't forget that now we're entering the weekends period, and the fact that we didn't bounce from that level and the fact that we are still pretty low on the low volume means we'd probably sorry, be continuing to trading sideways, and we have 2 days to break this wedge, to break $3,000, to go somewhere around here. That would be very possible according to the momentum which we are seeing right now. Overall, if you look at this decrease in price, it actually could be extended even lower from this point. We always on average we always went down, not that fast as here and here, but still it was very, very painful and rather fast decrease in price. So it would be really possible that we will go even lower with this sort of drops, maybe this type of drop. And yeah, that's the scenario. Again, basically nothing in terms of the energy from or power from bulls, and everything went down. We are expecting to do that. So next zone is below $3,000, maybe some bounce from that point, but very, very unlikely. What I must say also, for example, this is the Quark chain price chart, and you see it's very strong comparing to all the other altcoins with respect to Bitcoin, of course, but it didn't try to break it those levels. So I would say if I would have some Quark chain to be traded, I would sell some of it in for Bitcoin, because on the way to lower low for Bitcoin, this will go down as many of the other altcoins, but for that particular one I would expect to buy a lower once again. Again, everything which I say is my personal opinion, not financial advice, yada yada yada, you know all the stuff. Again, returning to the traditional markets, as we were talking before, we were waiting for some decrease in price and some little correlation between like Nasdaq or S&P to Bitcoin. And what you see now is that this particular session was very bearish and followed by the relatively similarly bearish session before. So basically went all the way down from this maximum, which was very mediocre, and now we are approaching to the lower low. Now it is closed, but after the weekend I wouldn't be surprised if we'll be opening very lower, much lower than this one. Both ways are possible, like up or down, but either of them will lead to quite a jump up or down, change up or down. So I don't think that will be somewhere around here, and it means that the sentiment on those markets is really like strong, but in certain direction. I still tend to think that it's bearish, and if it is so, then probably the same thing is on Bitcoin, and we'll see the drop during this thin market in the during the weekend. And you see even Dow Jones even worse, so we're basically very close to the local minimum, previous lows. S&P also very close to the local minimum. So all of that is indicating the bearish momentum. Tether is continuing to fall, so we had some correlation, some bounce from that level. We didn't follow the trend line, which I sort of tried to pick, but now we appear to be continuing to follow that. So probably we will go lower, and this will be the but simultaneously happening with the drop of Bitcoin. And also regarding the targets, regarding the prices which I would think to buy. So looking at all of that and the weakness of the bulls here, and the very low volume and the overall sentiment, of course a lot of people saying, oh, we will buy at 3,000 will be absolute bottom, yada yada yada. But this is exactly when the whales, when the manipulators would want to load their bags, but then so when they will probably buy those levels and will like end up with the end of their fiat, when those people who are positive on the $3,000 as a bottom, probably from those levels they will just the whales probably will just after they buy all those Bitcoin which will be sold, they will probably push the price even lower. So as soon as the fiat from those optimistic people will be over, because okay again, the volume, the wealth from the whales is much bigger, so they can easily dump that optimism. And as soon as the price will go lower, those people will panic, and the other people will panic, and more shorts will appear. So probably I wouldn't expect the bounce, at least major bounce from $3,000. It would be something more like this candle over here. So or maybe something like that, but not more. So at least again, I don't say that will happen. I think that this is the most possible scenario. So like this is, imagine that this is $3,000 and this is the bounce which can go up to, so like maybe $150 from 3,000 and then go down again, even lower levels. And then it would depend on which price we will have the panic on the market. I tend to think that first wave of the panic will be somewhere around this area, like 2,600, 700. And then again some correlation, some maybe bounce to 3,000 again, where we can sell again, and then bounce lower. Possibly the lowest price at the moment which I'm considering is something like 1,800, and that would be the one of the next wave of the panic, when we broke $2,000, and we will before that we'll break would break $2,500 and so on. So but anyway, let's look at the price. I will be very happy if I will be mistaken, and we will bounce from certain, like even from 200 days moving average. If we'll bounce from that and go up and slightly increase in price, that would be awesome. That would mean that the 200 days moving average held, and this is the nice support, and we are now approaching to the new bull market. That would be great. What I would like to show you again, in addition to that, this is the market which usually is not considered by the major analysts. This is the Japanese yen market, and this is Bitflyer crypto exchange, which is one of the biggest ones, by the way. And now the price of Bitcoin is something like 355,840 yen. Of course it would be nice, it would be dollars, but anyway. And the thing is, so this is the order book of the buys and sell orders. You can see that a lot of the sells are concentrated above $400,000, which is roughly $4,000. Sorry, for 400,000 yen, which is roughly $4,000. And here the same thing. A lot of the buy orders are concentrated below 300,000 yen, which is roughly again $3,000. And if we'll go, we need to go exactly below the point where the most of the orders are concentrated to make the liquidate them, or short orders from them be initiated. And also, if you look at the number of those orders in Bitcoin, you would see that something like, actually make shall be look like this, something like $330,000 is the lowest point where the most of the orders are placed right now. So definitely we'll pin through that, and that would be something like in dollars, that will be something like $3,000. And this is very thin area, between 325 to 300, and until then we'll probably just go very easily. And this would be the next resistance, which also has a lot of the orders open, and then we will need to break that as well, probably some bounce from those levels. So we'll go below that, and somewhere at maybe 285,000, which is again something like $2,700. somewhere at those levels we will jump off on the real buy orders from, well, not real, but buy orders from the whales, from the huge players. And at that point we will look at how much real volume, how much real bullishness we will have on the market. Okay, that's the strategy, that's the idea, and I hope that it was informative and useful for you. If so, please leave a like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter as well. I would hope to see you tomorrow in the next video, and thank you for being with me during this video. Safe trading, guys. Goodbye.